Welcome, Anne.
Hi, Sabina. Hi, Precious.
Hi, Precious. We are breathing together, Anne. Welcoming one another through the breath as an extension of welcome of ourself. Welcome, Kitty. So good to see you. Welcome.
Hi, Sabina.
Hi, Kitty.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Good to be here.
It is good to be here.
Risha. Cool. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, there she is.
Here comes our Australian sisters, Joni and Mia.
Yes.
Hello, welcome, Mia. Hi. So good to see you, beloved. Joni, welcome. Hello, hello, as the morning light is rising. And we breathe together in fullest welcome. A welcome that is a deep welcome of our very self. Extending out to all beings. With boundless welcome. Just feeling this interbreathing across oceans and beyond time and distance. And a welcome to you, Mary Lou. Hi, Tina. So good to see you. Welcome to you, Anne.
Thank you, Sabina. Hello.
Hello. We're simply breathing together.
Good.
Just feeling in this interbreathing this flow of welcome, which goes deeply into your innermost being as a meeting of yourself here and now with open arms of welcome, and then naturally extends out to all. This open welcome that opens the parameters of any mental cages. Any imprisoning ideas of who you are set free now on this breath of welcome. Sherry, welcome. So good to be with you. You can keep your camera off. We feel you here and we are so grateful. No need to say a word. Oh, we're honored to have our beloved sister Maurice joining us. Welcome, Maurice. Welcome. As we interbreathe, welcome, deeper, wider, ever vastening welcome of ourself. Welcome, Maurice. Yes. There you are. What a blessing. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know if I'll stay for the whole program, but I wanted to come and say hello.
I'm so glad you did. Please flow naturally, always.
Thank you. I'll mute myself.
Thank you. So let's call in now all of the support of all of nature that is supporting our fullest blossoming, our fullest awakening that we all share. This awakening of our unitive field as nature beings with all of nature. Let's call in the herd here who are finishing up the most delicious last bites of their meadow grass. Hey, Taz and Teddy and Yoshi and Khalil and Travis and the unseen Omar. Call in all of the beings that are intimate companions in your daily life. All the nature beings that encircle and circulate with your heart. Those horse beings and beings disguised as dogs, cats, birds, insects, those beings disguised as animal beings in the form of cows and sheep and pigs and goats. Beings that are disguised in the oceanic world of whales and fish, octopus and manta rays. Plant life, the trees, the rocks and crystals, the soil, the elements, all of Mother Gaia, including the animal people. Including the very air we breathe. Including all the heavenly bodies, the planets, the sun, the moon, the stars, and those beings of light beyond name in the formless realms. And those beings that we have known for a brief while in our life as a form, a living animal being that has passed on and dissolved their form. Let's bring in all of this assistance now. Just on currents of love and welcome and humility. And feel yourself as part of this circulation of support for one another. Living, embodied, powerfully creative. And this ever expanding and ever vastening journey. This tone, Om, is the sacred sound of manifestation and the maintaining of the manifested and the dissolving, all in this field of sentience. So we begin, beloveds, we begin the frequency exploration right here and now of the language of essence frequency. First, I had gotten the information that we would be exploring the language of frequency. But actually, that is very broad. And as the transmissions were coming through, they became honed to the exploration of the language of essence frequency. Because this is actually the language of all of nature. Yes, frequency, of course, there's something very specific about nature beings and their innate language. And we are nature beings. And we came in speaking this language. And this is the language of essence frequency. And so we'll begin our exploration of this. And the recording I will share publicly. But I will edit out our dialogue portion at the end. So feel free, beloveds, to speak when you feel to. At the second half of the gathering. But for those who are new to these gatherings, these words are intended to be carriers of essence frequency. And so to receive them is like receiving perhaps a bath where you are absorbing the frequencies of, let's say, essential oils. It's like that. When you're lying in the bathtub with intention to absorb the frequency of, let's say, frankincense, you don't rely on your mind to do that. And so this gathering is a bath now in this one ocean of co-created frequency. So enjoy and settle into yourself now. The language of essence frequency. Feel with me now a deep dive into the underwater remembrance of this language of essence frequency. Deep dive underwater into this remembrance. This is the language of consciousness itself and of all of nature. Essence frequency has varying shades of light. The language of essence frequency is not an exchange of concepts or beliefs. These waters are free from such pollution. So dive deeper now into the innermost sea of your innermost being, where the language of frequency of essence is a natural ebbing and flowing, a natural ebbing and flowing. Breath by underwater breath. All of nature communicates in the language of essence frequency. Animal people beings do too. For you are nature beings too, after all. Language of essence frequency. Language of essence frequency Is my voice still ebbing and flowing? Is it a little better now? Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, okay. Animal people, beings do too. We communicate too in the language of essence, frequency. For we are nature beings too. After all, language of essence frequency is spoken through you all the time by the very molecules of light that you are, creating echo chamber worlds of light upon light. When you get out of the way, become translucent and allow the dance of the molecules of light to dance through you. This becomes your primary language, a living language of essence light, your natural language. You spoke this before you knew language of words, and you will speak this again when language of words is unplugged. And you can speak it now through the language of words, right here and now, through the open portal of essence light dancing through you, silently, breath by breath. I'll read that again at the end of our transmissions. Let's just let this sit now as we bathe in the frequencies. And just feel in your own being, your essence light waking up, perhaps in response. Your essence light created that transmission. And is singing back to you through it, like an echo chamber of light. What you infuse the atmosphere with through the power of your breath, even before any words are spoken, is alchemical beyond your comprehension. Many people, animals, still speak to one another through the exchange of the words of a half-living language. Through the language of the frequency of concepts, and emotionally charged ideas embalmed in individual identity. Identity is not your essence frequency, but simply a creative disguise covering it. It is not truly alive. And so it becomes a covering for true life. Don't get confused and think that's who you are. Simply bringing awareness to when you are speaking from this half-dead frequency. Noticing how a circulation of this language reverberates a frequency of true life coated over by illusion. Notice how a circulation of this language reverberates a frequency of true life coated over by illusion. And when the illusion is fully seen through and fully realized on every level, then all communication, verbal or not, becomes an exchange of a live, awake essence frequency. And in this natural language of essence frequency, we simply are frequency of light, speaking and listening to light. And of course, this morning, as I came out into the corral to be with the horses, and these transmissions started to move through energetically. Travis, who you see behind here, took his muzzle into the middle of my spine and just breathed. I didn't know what horse it was, so I just closed my eyes, and instead of looking, I felt. And I felt that wisdom of silence speaking through essence, frequency, deeply rooted through this being, Travis Alazi. And I told him that we so need him. He's such a clear embodiment for the whole herd and for all who tune to this essence frequency. He's such a clear embodiment, as all of nature is. But it seems to be his primary purpose. And so here he is as we breathe together. Truly, the language of essence frequency cannot be grasped. He needed to release and it was stuck. Wow, thank you. Moving energy through the field here. So if you feel to release on another level, to make room. Truly, the language of essence frequency cannot be grasped at or held on to. It is alchemical by nature and highly contagious and creative. And it has a tremendous, inevitable power to realign you and all of nature back home to the truth of unity. Truly, the language of essence frequency cannot be grasped at or held on to. It is alchemical by nature, highly contagious and creative. And it has a tremendous, inevitable power to realign you and all of nature back home to the truth of unity. The language of essence frequency calls out to be met by a simple breath of awareness as it dances through the atmosphere. The language of essence frequency calls out simply to be met by a simple breath of awareness as it dances through the atmosphere. The language of essence frequency calls out to be secretly detected, which is a deep receiving by one glance of your awareness light. The language of essence frequency calls out to be secretly detected, which is a deep receiving by one glance of your awareness light. And to be simultaneously let go of, which is an immeasurable depth of giving as it passes through the field. So it calls out to be secretly detected by one glance of awareness light, which is a deep receiving. And simultaneously, secretly let go of, which is an immeasurable depth of giving. Giving back as it passes through the field. The language of frequency essence is nonverbal in essence. It blossoms forth out of the depths of the frequency of silence, arising from the womb of the luminous emptiness of all existence, beyond words and beyond worlds. The language of frequency is non-verbal in essence. It blossoms forth out of the depths of the frequency of silence, arising from the womb of the luminous emptiness. The luminous emptiness, the womb of all existence, beyond words, beyond worlds. The breath of spirit breath, is essence frequency set free on wings of the breath. Essence frequency set free on wings of the breath is spirit breath. This breath magnifies in potency simply by being seen. This holy breath is an ocean wave of essence light passing through you. Breath as an essence frequency communicator. Breath as essence frequency communicator. Speaking and listening with each rhythmic wave of inhalation and exhalation. Speaking and listening with each oceanic wave of inhalation and exhalation. The language of essence frequency through this very breath, interbreathing with all of nature. Frequency of essence light, heard and received with each breath. With each inhalation, frequency of essence light heard and received. And with each exhalation, frequency of essence light whispering and quenching all in each rippling release. So let's tune now to the breath. As a sacred communicator of essence frequency. The breathing in becomes the hearing and the receiving. The breathing out becomes the quenching, giving gift for all. Hummingbird. Transmission from hummingbird. You love me and are drawn to me because the light frequency in you hears the light frequency and in me. And when you hear, I hear you. This is the language of essence frequency. You love me and are drawn to me, hummingbird, because the light frequency in you hears the light frequency in me. And when you hear, I hear you. This is the language of essence frequency. Just pausing, feeling in the frequency of silence, the natural communication of essence frequency through you, here and now. with all of nature. Through you as nature. This reverberation of love. Of true quenching. Of the natural flow of reciprocity. Giving and receiving in total balance, realigned. A living language of inevitable alchemy. And from Mother Willow, a transmission from Mother Willow. Frequency creates. And in the silence, in the frequency of silence, what has been created is revealed. The deepest taproots of your being are always tapping into the ever-quenching frequency of silence. This frequency is where quenching circulates pure sustainability. And speaking from the taproots of your being allows gifts of quenching to be set free. Speaking from the shallow root system is a frequency too. This frequency feigns true nourishment. And the shallow rooted frequencies are drought stricken. And we are being called, all human, animal, people are being called to go deeper into the taproots of frequency essence. Right here and now, where sustainable nourishment is ever flowing and where each breath becomes a gift. You all have taproots. We all have taproots that run so deep, where all roots converge. And from this unitive essence frequency, nature is speaking to you, as you, here and now. From beloved Mother Willow, a transmission, frequency, create. And in the silence, in the frequency of silence, what has been created is revealed. The deepest taproots of your being are always tapping deeper into the ever-quenching frequency of silence. This frequency is where quenching is circulating pure sustainability. And speaking from these tap roots allows gifts of quenching to be set free. Speaking from the shallow root system is a frequency too. This frequency feigns true nourishment. The shallow-rooted frequencies are drought-stricken, and we are being called to go deeper, deeper into the taproots of frequency, where sustainable nourishment is ever flowing, where each breath becomes a gift. You all have taproots that run so deep, where all roots converge. And from this unitive essence frequency, nature is speaking to you, as you, here and now. So here and now, let us sink deeper into a more intimate remembrance of this tap root convergence of all roots. The immense power of this unitive essence frequency. And receive. Overflowing, ever quenching as a gift, as one sustainable circulation of nourishment. The language of essence frequency is the language of consciousness itself. Feel with me now this deep dive into the underwater remembrance of this language of essence frequency. The language of all of nature and of consciousness itself. Essence frequency as varying shades of light. This language of essence frequency is not an exchange of concepts or beliefs. These waters are free from such pollution. So diving deeper into the innermost sea, through your tap roots, to the innermost sea of being. where the language of frequency of essence is a natural ebbing and flowing, breath by underwater breath. All of nature communicates in language of essence frequency. Animal, people, beings do too, for you are nature beings too, after all. Language of essence frequency is spoken through you all the time by the very molecules of light that you are, creating echo chamber worlds of light upon light. When you get out of the way, become translucent, and allow the dance of light to dance through you, then this becomes your primary language again, a living language of frequency light. Your natural language. You spoke this before you knew language of words. And you will speak this language again when language of words is unplugged. And you can speak it now through the gift of the language of words, here and now, through this open portal of essence light, dancing through you. Breath by silent breath. What you infuse the atmosphere with through the power of your breath, even before words are spoken, is alchemical, beyond your comprehension. Many people, animals still speak to one another through the exchange of the words of a half-living language, a language of frequency of concepts, frequency of emotionally charged ideas embalmed in individual identity. Identity is not your essence frequency, but simply a creative disguise covering of it. Nor is it fully alive. So it becomes a covering for true life. Don't get confused and think that's who you are. Simply bring awareness to when you are speaking from this half-dead frequency. Notice how a circulation of this language reverberates a frequency of true life covered over by illusion. And when the illusion is fully seen through and fully realized on every level, then all communication, verbal or not, becomes an exchange of alive, awake essence frequency. In this language of frequency. We simply are frequency of essence light speaking and listening to light. So we fully show up, beloveds, and simultaneously fully move out of the way. The highest integrity of essence frequency permeating up through the taproots, re-informing, bringing fullest coherence, speaking through listening, breath by breath, receiving through giving, breath by breath. May this language of essence frequency be resurrected here and now, beloved. We will continue all month and all lifelong. And if there is something that perhaps woke up within you that you would like to share, or anything that you would like held in this space, just allow this essence frequency to speak through you in this unique co-created field of light. Beloveds, you are welcome just to unmute and allow. And thank you, beloveds, for your incredibly honed hearts, minds, and essence embodiments here. Thank you for creating, co-creating these transmission.
Hey, Sabina.
Kitty, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I just had such a wonderful experience.
Hmm. Oh,
So when you had transmitted some of this, got halfway through, and then you asked us just to sit with that and see what you feel. Well, so I sat with that, and the first thing I felt was like my ear twitching with the vibration of what was coming to me. And like my ear was seeing instead of hearing.
wow.
And it was pictures and words and feelings, and it was love and hugs and hearts. And then my mind said, well, how come it's not coming into your heart? And I go, shh, go back to sleep. And so then I got back into that, and it was coming into every pore of my body. It's like my aura or my essence just seemed to grow with all that love. I could feel such a big surrounding. I just feel like it comes from this group, just like we don't have to intentionally put it out there. It is just us.
Yeah.
And so I was just hoping other people felt that too. And yeah, it was the best.
Wow. Let's feel that with you. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Kitty.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very clear and palpable.
I felt all pumped up. I still feel that way.
Well, and deeply grounded too at the same time. It's incredible to feel your energy right now because it's so grounded and so deep. And yes, energized fully with essence frequency, which is that all sustaining quenching.
Feel so complete.
You feel your true nature.
I'm on this ranch, 460 acres. I work with the animals. I play with the animals. So it's like everything in me is satisfied, and
Oh,
not just physical, but it's
oh,
emotional. And so I've been here 4 weeks. I have one more week to go.
oh, what a life-changing experience. What an alignment of life.
Yes. Ever since my 20s, I can remember wanting to be on land, but that land had to have animals.
Yes.
And I've run into these people that I was only supposed to be here one night, and they asked me to stay as long as I could.
Yes.
Yeah.
The miracles of essence creating destiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So joyful for you, with you.
Oh, thank you. I can feel that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone else like to lend voice? Feel free. Feel free. As I was sharing those words, I could feel each of your essence waking up in a new way. In a new way. Your essences have been waking up all along, but in a very subtle but grand entrance kind of way. Each essence began to sing through the space. See if we can feel that together. All the beings gathered here. With the frequency of essence waking up. Thank you, Sherry, for being here. We are with you as you travel through your life, Sherry. We are with you essence to essence. Strengthening. I'm feeling the essence of you, Sherry. So quiet and deep and bubbling at the same time. We begin to align everything with this essence frequency, or I should say, the essence frequency aligns everything. Our ears, our eyes, our voice, our thoughts, all of the inner ecosystems of all of the bodies, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, all realigning. And then going even deeper where all of our roots converge into a unitive superpower of essence. Thank you to each drop of essence here in the sea of frequency. We continue to give and receive in this way, breath by breath. Thank you to the all surrounding nature. Thank you, Anna Rose. All surrounding nature. Frequencies that we can lean into and discover within ourselves and one another again. So let's breathe this in now, wordlessly. rippling out this whisper of essence, frequency, language as a gift to the whole. And feeling this frequency being met, fully heard. And how this being met and fully heard sings back in essence, frequency, this kirtan of love with all beings. Thank you, beloved. Deepest reverence, deepest love to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Kitty.
Thank you, Sabina.
I'm so grateful that you were here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabina.
Thank you. And thank you. Your essence singing. And thank you to the herd now, who is, yes, until next time, beloved. Sherry. Thank you to Khalil, whose essence sings for us, with us. And thank you to Yoshi, whose essence sings her song of frequency so clearly. To Teddy, Barack, thank you for your essence song. into task. To Travis. Muzzle to the earth, beloveds. We bow to you, beloved Shiva. Blessings.